We have a lot to cover in this episode. We'll discuss the chop range of Bitcoin and the consolidation of Ethereum, and watch the video Ripple released on developing the Interledger protocol and its overall strategy. The $800 million coin scheme's primary design included the use of Ripple locks. How does that affect us? And what about Bitcoin 57,000? From here, where do we go? I've got you covered. Take a seat, unwind, and catch a cold. Sip, raise your feet, and let's dive in. Bitcoin, $58,185 on the last day. Ethereum rose by 1.34% to $2,984. USDT and USDC have both increased by 3.24%, while XRP has decreased by a mean of just 51 cents. However, if you didn't, it increased by 4.61% on the last day. Watch the day's opening video. Make sure to listen to it. We discussed the Bitcoin pairing speed and how optimistic it is if you're new to the channel, which many of you are every day, as well as if you're not. Kindly ensure that you click the like button. To enable the alerts, click the subscribe button so you never miss a bell. Paying attention, clicking the like button, and tuning in is important. The channel is beneficial to us. It significantly improves the algorithms and offers support for Ripple. Yesterday, we returned $30,000 to the community. Fundamentals received $30,000 more in monthly prizes than NFT projects. You are mine. That's what I want to do. That's how big our community is. People, just click and take a seat. I'm proud of it. Phil claims he is no longer able to handle cryptocurrency. Holding is destroying him. I'm not sure how holding devastates someone, selling typically does. He urges, what destroys you, or how does leverage work? But how can grasping something you don't understand lead to destruction? I believe that 74,000 was the peak of his cycle, and if a bull market doesn't materialize, there's a good probability that the price Bitcoin will drop to $30,000, which is where he is going. He's on vacation, so until he returns to the market, I wish him luck. I'm hoping he has a fantastic trip. We are not aiming for Bitcoin worth $30,000. The Bitcoin retest 485 is, if anything, the lowest point ever. There are 52,000 in play. It could occur if we fall short of where we are now, but it can't. It's a 50-50 possibility right now, so it doesn't happen, but what should we do? We do know that by the end of the year, $5 trillion will have entered the market, but Bitcoin hasn't exactly had a surge recently. However, if we look back in time, we can see that Bitcoin hasn't exactly experienced a significant surge recently. You can go back to 2013 if you'd like to examine how Bitcoin has behaved historically. During that year, there was a surge in price before everyone freaked out because they believed that the fact that Bitcoin existed was a bullish development. 2013-2017-2021, and this year we see the upswing. When we witness a drop in price, such as the roughly 30% drop in Bitcoin, people yell and kick. People are overcome by their emotions. They begin reading all these terrible stories on Twitter, and they leave a wonderful example. However, what we observe is that when Bitcoin hits what appears to be its local bottom, it surges back up and begins its parabolic run. The parabolic run is running out of time. It will start to happen at any moment. As I have discussed, May has consistently been a phenomenal signal. You have been on this channel for quite a while. People should become apprehensive, fearful, and attentive if they feel as though the markets are draining their energies excessively. If a roller coaster is too much for you to take, I suggest you get off of it. Take a trip, then return in a few months. These markets will suddenly undergo significant changes. In response, Brad Garlinghouse speaks loudly and clearly. Greetings from the man known as X. Do we name it X now? Who is she? Brad Garlinghouse is making an intriguing response. Brighouse is responding, but I'm not sure who she is. Is Brad Garlinghouse house indeed this? Yeah, it's definitely not clear to me. I just found it intriguing, and to set the record straight, I'll give you a reliable C. When he goes, I see that we hit 56 to 58,000. The zone, which I discussed in my previous video and he covered in his previous one, suggests that we could potentially drop even lower. In the unlikely event that this is primarily a directional short accumulation, we should expect to see a squeeze at some point. I haven't completely eliminated the leverage that has accumulated since our peak at 64K, nor have I experienced any further bleed down. At this point, are you waiting for a flush or are you going to convert dollar cost averages into a spot Bitcoin move? As I said earlier, reliable cryptocurrency means that Bitcoin is in a very fascinating place right now. It only needs time to push back up or continue declining and testing $52,000. The Martini folks tell me Ethereum is giving me some real FOMO, but I don't see it reaching 20,000. I think it's probably in the neighborhood of 13,000 to 15,000 when a bull market comes up. This tweet is more of a click on me type, which will not happen if Ethereum achieves $20,000. XRP is approaching $10. What do you say about that? That's how you approach it. I wanted to show you this video earlier today, so here it is. Now, let's listen to it together. We will discuss the internal protocol, the developments Ripple is making, and the relationship between all of this and TCP/IP. People pay attention. It is quite unlikely that there will be a single blockchain that serves as a universal standard that all users worldwide will adhere to. As there will inevitably be a variety of networks, blockchains, and ledgers in use, it would be impossible to place everyone on a single blockchain. In my opinion, it doesn't make fundamental sense. That's not how the world is beginning. I don't believe that's how the world will ultimately unfold. In other words, Ripple basically invented this concept. How do you approach resolving that specific issue? How do you produce? We developed a protocol similar to TCP/IP for the Internet to ensure interoperability between different ledgers across various payment networks. With the idea that these various networks would function as a single blockchain, our engineering team developed the Interledger Protocol, or ILP, to facilitate intra-country check clearing. You may claim that HSBC has a payments network, that a Visa is a network here in the United States, etc. These islands exist now, and you can claim them. Even if you urge these networks to migrate to the blockchain, they are merely replicating their current activities. There are problems with scalability. When scalability issues arise quickly, the concept bears resemblance to a network connected to the Internet. It's really what the internal protocol that we've developed and released as open source means. Data networks worldwide should have a standard protocol that connects these value networks to these payment networks. However, the main focus is on implementing this protocol within Ripple. In reality, the goal is to build these networks so that they can interact with one another and foster the efficiency and value of interoperability that, as we would argue, are lacking. Sort of a third component, after the interoperability of goods and data, you need the interoperability of value and standards. For those, you need standards for this and the other two. The ability to achieve this by employing a system similar to the Interlayer protocol is extremely important. Thus, intriguing comparisons, don't they? We are aware of the ripples behind the ILP in TCP/IP. We know that Safari and Apple have a close relationship. The Interledger protocol dates back approximately 7 years. We talked about the first, which is Citibank integration with the private ledger, which takes roughly 10 years. I think it was in 2017 or 2018. LL stated that we are nearing the ideal period for them to launch and work with Ripple, or at the very least, to begin production, given that banks typically require 10 years. 10 years old, correct? It's fascinating that Ripple has teamed up with data privacy to figure out how to create an exclusive digital ID because it's unclear who is testing and who is creating the ID. I'll take this piece, as well as the XRP ledger Palo. XRP cost in an intriguing move. Ripple has locked up 800 million coins to create a large XRP movement. We understand that this is an escrow, but what is really going on here? Money coming out, cash going in, and why is the price of Bitcoin, which is currently at 57 Solana, rising? It's interesting to note that many of these other cryptocurrencies have recovered and are now outperforming Bitcoin. The other day, I stocked up on Solana. Well, I'm up 12% on it, so earnings aren't too bad, are they? I have the margin, the local bomb looks good, and I have invested in Cardano, which is up 4%, my AA is up 6%, and my chain link is up 5%. I can only have one ARB, and it's killing me. This is beneficial. Hear me out. If you watch the entire video and pay attention, congratulations are in order. Here, allow me to offer you a small tip. ARB is one of those coins that will eventually explode in value. For now, it's merely crawling and not doing all that well. People take notice of it,